today we're going to be talking about the held items tier list. This is something that was requested back on my normal Pokemon Unite tier list that we made the other day, and I just want to cover some of the items pretty in depth so you guys can understand exactly which items would be good for you to upgrade, or maybe you should hold off from using your item enhancers on certain items because they're just kind of not that great. So if you do enjoy this type of content, or if you enjoyed the previous content, hey, reminder, sub to the channel really helps a lot. Leave a like, comment, all the YouTube algorithm stuff, just let me know exactly what you'd like to see from me down below, and yeah, it would really help me out, seriously. So yeah, let's get started with the video. First of all, well, give me a second here, we gotta move all these items, because some of these are not actually held items. These are not items. Okay, so let's get started this with our boy, the cake. It's not really cake, it looks like a cracker. But let's just make this very clear. The stacking items, and this is going to be a representation of every single one, are very niche. What is our last one here? Yeah. So the HP, attack, and special attack stacking items are all very niche. They're pretty good. They actually give pretty good stats. So like, for example, attack weight at level 20 would give you 90 damage when it's fully stacked. And if you're able to stack them early game, it feels really good. But, and the big caveat on buts here, as you move up to the higher ranks, you're going to notice it's actually a lot of time it's not really even worth trying to dunk. It wastes a lot of time, and there's usually something else on the map that you can prioritize to give your team a bigger lead rather than you just trying to force a dunk. And since cooldown or death timers are so low in the early game, very rarely do you just get to kill someone for free and get a dunk. So that's why these kind of become very niche. But if you're in a lower rank setting, or if you're maybe playing a specific type of play style, you can get these to work. But most of the time, I would recommend building something else entirely. Assault vest, just gonna keep it real with you. It's not very good. It just doesn't really do a whole lot. There are gonna be better tanky options that we're gonna be covering here in just a moment. But assault vest just doesn't bring enough bang for its buck. Let's just put it as simple as that. Buddy barrier. Look, let's keep it real. You saw a thumbnail for this video. You might have watched me over on my stream, which you should. Twitch TV/Tomsorcer. Links in the description below. Buddy Barrier is the best item in the game, hands down. You're essentially playing Pokemon Unite, but with a Lucio ultimate on top of that. It's crazy, and pretty much everybody should be running Buddy Barrier at this point. Get that thing to level 20. There is zero reason why you should not be running a Buddy Barrier on your character right now. It doesn't matter who you're playing, what role, attacker, defender, all-arounder, support, tank, I don't care. Buddy Barrier is the best in slots for everybody. It is overpowered. It seriously needs to be nerfed. It is so good. But yeah, just seriously insane. Absolute best item in the game by far. If you have item enhancers right now and you don't have it to level 20, get it to level 20. Seriously. We're gonna have our megaphone over here. All right, so I am a little more biased towards this megaphone. I've been running a lot with Charizard Jungle, and I've noticed just how impactful it is. Even when it was at level 10, I noticed this item was actually bringing a huge amount of utility. So this thing does two things. One, it helps your ult charge rates come back faster, which is massive in this game, as a lot of fights are played around ultimate abilities. Dreadnought fights, Rotom fights, Zapdos fights, just trying to take control of goal points. Fights, they really revolve around Unite abilities, since a lot of Unite abilities are extremely impactful. Unless you're like Lucario or something where you have a pretty bad one. But if you're something like a Charizard, it's going to matter a lot, or a Gardevoir. This is going to matter a ton. So personally, I think it's a very good item. I know I see people put it more like here, it's pretty niche, but I think it's a very good option. And I think if you want to use some of the item answers on it, you're not really going to feel bad using it. You can run it on most of the casts, and really if you're fine, you can probably just run on everybody and you'd also feel fine. Just try to avoid running on the guys whose ultimates aren't exactly the strongest. EXP share. So at the very moment, in this patch currently, EXP share quite literally does nothing. It is bugged. It does zip nada. So just gonna put that out there, and I'm just gonna type it here. EXP share is bugged. So we kind of just get the point that, oh my god, what is happening? Jesus. If it wasn't bugged, it'd obviously be a niche item, as you only really want to run as supports, but it is literally bugged. Do not waste your item enhancers on it at all. You're going to feel terrible. It does quite literally nothing. Take it to practice mode, try it out yourself. It does not give you any bonus EXP versus somebody who does not run it. Floatstone. I've seen a lot of people put floatstone as a god tier in the tier list. I myself thought floatstone was a god tier item myself when I first played the game. I used my first item enhanced on it, but no, it is actually pretty damn terrible. First of all, this item takes 6 seconds of you being out of combat for I believe like 60 movement speed or something. And just for context, if you were to look at Cerebee's website and you look up at any Pokemon's movement speed, their movement speeds are in the thousands, 3,000 something. So just getting a flat amount to like 60 doesn't mean anything. You won't notice it. And the flat stat you get off it, like 20 attack power, isn't noticeable either. So it is a pretty bad item overall. Do not waste your item answer on this. Focus Band. My goodness, this thing has risen up the tier list like crazy. Right now, most top tier players are running pretty much Buddy Barrier and Focus Band plus something else on nearly every character in the game. It is essentially meta right now. And the reason for this, it makes your characters very, very tanky. It does two things. It increases your defense, increases your special defense, and then it also has a passive that heals you based on the percentage of HP, depending on what level you have it. I think like a level 20 healing you for, I want to say like 12% HP when you drop to a low HP. It's really, really strong, like very, very strong. So if you don't know what to run, or you just kind of want to have like something you can run on everybody, you will not regret running Focus Band. It's insane. Leftovers. It's bad. It's just bad. It doesn't really do anything. Muscle Band. It's a pretty good option. You can run this on most characters in the game, and it doesn't feel bad in the slightest. Quite literally, you can run this on special attackers, you can run this on normal attackers. It's very good in the laning phase. It does percent HP damage to your opponents on auto attacks. And since pretty much every character in the game has a third extra auto attack, doing some extra like Jigglypuff stun, for example, even this would feel pretty decent on her. So you wouldn't really feel bad putting points into this item in the slightest. But generally, this isn't a one-fits-all situation with this item on like Buddy Barrier or Focus Band. Muscle Band, on the other hand, actually is more, we want to tailor this more towards the Garchomps or maybe a Charizard, stuff like that. Or generally people who are going to be in the jungle are going to like this a lot more. Safety helmets. So, information that you probably don't know from in-game because it doesn't say. The cooldown on this is 6 seconds and the damage is very, very little. You can check out all this information on Cerebee. It will actually have all the information you need on items, but it doesn't do a lot. The damage is very minimal, and the cooldown on it, since it's 6 seconds, like the same issue we have with floatstone, it's not good enough to really worth using. So, sadly, it's just kind of bottom of the barrel. Let's get it out of here. It's pretty trash. Focus Lens. I believe Focus Lens is a pretty good item. It is a crit specific item, but it's percentage. Percentage items in this game are really nice, like really nice. But we just don't have a whole lot of them. Focus Lens, on the other hand, is doing quite a bit, but it's not being used on a ton of people at the moment. You can run this again on stuff like Garchomp, maybe Lucario. You can run it on quite a few auto attackers that really rely on just solely auto attacking. We're talking about things like Cinderace can really abuse this. Greninja could really abuse this. This would be really, really good on them, but it's not something you're going to be using on a majority of the cast. So just make sure you're playing someone who heavily relies on auto attacking before you waste your item enhancers on this. But in a vacuum, this is a good item. This is just doesn't like, there's not a bad situation to really have this item if you're playing an auto attack character. It's not something like the stacking items that we've listed below. Safety or goal shield, or safety shield, I believe it's called. This one's interesting. It's actually become a lot more popular these days due to the fact that as of 5 minutes into the game, you can start catapulting on top of people from your base, stopping them from getting any dunks, which is really bad if you're trying to dunk, right? You generally hear me say, hey, look, we should probably get the heck off these tier 2 turrets because they're just going to keep respawning and dunking us and they're just going to kill us and we're never going to be able to get any turn-ins and it just feels awful. Well, this actually stops that entirely. Since you have a shield from it, the knockup won't stop you at all, and you're going to be able to get those turn-ins more frequently. But it's not something I would run on a ton of people. I would probably run this on people who are trying to be very aggressive in the early game and just trying to get an early game EXP lead by getting those early game dunks. So think of things probably like Gengar, maybe Lucario, probably something that's trying to be very aggressive in the jungle. We could think of Absol, these are items that would probably work very well on them, but they don't exactly have a full home at the moment. I actually really like this item on Lucario. I've been testing it a little more in the higher ranked games, and I've noticed just the strength of getting those early dunks off and amounting to a higher EXP lead and just allowing me to snowball a little more. So if you want to go for that type of playstyle, this item is definitely for you. Shell Bell. Currently, my friend is very upset at me because I'm saying this item is terrible. And my reason for it being terrible is that it's 6 seconds. 6-second cooldown, as you notice, a lot of these items are on 6-second cooldowns, which it's not bad. Especially this one isn't as bad because technically 6 seconds is like getting another cooldown up, but the healing on it really isn't a lot. It's okay. You could definitely see it. It's very tangible. And it's not an item that feels bad to run. The main issue is that base stats are really bad. You only get like 3% cooldown reduction on level 20, which 3% really isn't a lot. Like when you look at games for League of Legends and stuff like that, you notice that people run 40% CDR, and that's even then people like wants even more. 3% you're never gonna notice. 3% cooldown reduction is never gonna be something you will ever notice in an actual match. So what we're really looking at here is the heal off of abilities, which at flat, it will be 75, which of course isn't a lot, but you'll generally get a lot more off of that. You might get a couple hundred. So it's kind of hard to say where this is entirely. I need to test this one out a little more. But I don't think it's terrible. I do think it is a niche item. You can really only run this on a few people in the cast. I think people rather be running pretty much anything else. Megaphone, muscleband, if you're a critical base user, focus lens, maybe a safety shield. These would be a lot better in my opinion. But of course, not really much to say about this. Of course, the glasses are going to be a good option. They are percentage and flat. Very good choice if you're a special attacker. Pretty much if you're a special attacker and you want DPS, you can just run these and you'll be good to go. What we're kind of looking at here is right now the metagame has kind of gotten to the point where pretty much everybody's running Buddy Barrier, Focus Slash, plus something else. So safety shield, maybe the glasses, maybe muscle band, maybe the megaphone, maybe the focus lens. And that's kind of what we're looking at in the highest ranks for master tier, especially in a more competitive setting. And even in a solo queue environment, these are kind of what's going on to be the best. But I will make a little caveat here. If you are playing purely solo queue, which we know is a very hectic and random environment, and you want to try and carry the best of your abilities, maybe get off that focus slash. Maybe just stick with the buddy barrier just because it's quite literally that broken. It is that insane. And just go for maybe an attack weight if you are a normal attacker or a physical attacker, and maybe go for the lens if you're a special attacker. Maybe get the buddy shield if you're trying to get more EXP from dunking and you're a jungler and you're roaming around a lot. That is something to take into consideration. So before you spend your item enhancers, make sure you understand exactly what you're looking towards your playstyle. Are you someone that's playing a physical attacker? Are you looking to be a Garchomp main? Are you a special attacker looking to be a Bulbasaur or a Gardevoir main? Are you a tank player looking to be a Snorlax or a Slowbro main? And then do your research accordingly. But if we are looking towards just using item enhancers, anything from these 6, you won't feel bad. This is honestly probably the most niche one out of all of them, as it has the least amount of use on terms of how many characters you can use on. It's only really a handful, but the item itself is very, very good. But yeah, that's really going to be it for me today, guys. Hey, I hope this can help you out a little bit. Just help you decide exactly which items you want to boost up yourself, and just, just get you a better idea of exactly what could help you out there. That's gonna be all for me today, guys. You enjoyed the video? You already know what to do. Sub, like, leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see next. And yeah, I'm planning on putting out more content, more guides, and I plan on starting a solo queue to Masters challenge on my Twitch. Mentions in the other videos, but the only thing we'll be doing is it will be a free-to-play challenge, but we will use a little bit of money just to get more characters, just to make the stream have more variety instead of just spamming one characters for 100 hours straight, just to make it a little more exciting overall. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like the video, and I'll see y'all next time. Take it easy, guys.